Hi, I'm Ray.
And I'm Saren.
We're your Spider Baby hosts from To Know Her Is to Fear Her, a Spider-Woman podcast, as well as proud members of the collective.
You're listening to Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. Enjoy the show.
I'm a little pissed off that my iPad is not able to. It's at that point now where it can no longer be updated.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The old one.
So, like, certain apps, like, it cannot run on this version.
Yeah.
And the DC Comics app is one of them now.
That's why I had to upgrade my tablet, yeah.
Hi,
So
this
I'm
is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
I love Batman.
Thank you, Ray. All right, kids. Welcome back to another episode of We Are the Night, the Batman podcast, as she blows her nose. Anyway, I am Phil. Joining me, as always, the Dark Knight herself. It's a little help by SCI as a sinus attack. And that's okay because we have a special guest today, Mr. Tyler Patrick from the Krypton Report.
Hey, everybody.
Of course, to talk to us about Batman, the long Halloween special that came out. Brandon.
Sorry about that. The curse of conscience just hit me as soon as you said Batman. I was like, Ray's up somewhere cursing us right now.
Exactly. So yeah, Tyler's going to talk some Batman Long Halloween special with us, and then yes, we have our detective issues that we're going to cover. Dead Reckoning.
And it all starts now for episode 52.
51.
Oh, really?
Remember? 52 is the Armageddon tie.
I don't want to remember. That's the point.
As we go through every issue of Armageddon 2001 on the various shows.
That's okay. We got off on our numbering because we had some stuff planned that we were going to record, and then James went and had a baby. So I mean, come on, like,
wow, damn, he
was
so I know. I was like, man. So like our numbering and order got shifted, and I was like, so we just had to like do one episode and just kind of condense some stuff down. But it was okay because we didn't really feel like talking about the Injustice movie that long because we were both like,
yes.
Was that even good? I didn't see it.
No, it wasn't.
I don't even remember seeing a ton of advertising for it. All of a sudden, it just seemed like it was there.
It was all over YouTube. I know that much. I heard people complaining about it.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say is, yeah, because it took us. It honestly should have been Injustice Part 1 and had done more, but like they didn't even take it to.
Well, the Injustice brand is done. So
I mean, if they would have announced a new game or something this year and really like pumped up, like, oh, Injustice is still would have been awesome. But yeah, I mean, my quick thoughts was one, they should have never recast the actors. They should have kept the voice cast from the game. They should have done it as two movies, the one being kind of like the comic book backstory, and the second movie being more of like the storyline of the first game. But this one
can't get it together, Tyler.
This one tried to do everything, and it just made it feel flat, and it didn't feel like Injustice. It felt like. So that's my my quick response. So there you go.
No, like I said, it just seemed like come out of nowhere. I was like, oh, should I watch this? Yeah, I thought I saw something where people were like, yeah, no, it's not that good.
You can sign into my movies anywhere, Phil, and watch it, and be like, yeah, good thing I didn't spend money on this.
Damn. All right.
Speaking about going to the well one too many times.
Oh, Batman the Long Halloween special #1 came out this week.
$8 book. Ugh. Good grief.
Well, instead of milking it for 12 or 13 issues, if we're going to do it in one, well.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And I enjoyed the story, but it's like, I'm tired of them going back to the well. It's like, oh, this one thing you didn't know. It's like, don't become a Frank Miller. Because you know what they say, you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And if he goes back to the well a third time, guess what, buddy? You're going to be the villain.
So is this
I will say, yeah, Phil.
I was gonna say, was this just in response to like the movies got such a good response? They're like, oh yeah, we need to come up with some more Long Halloween.
Well, again, like I said, the Long Halloween definitely is influencing that Bat Pat movie. So I think that they're trying to milk it for all it's worth and all that, synergy.
I just, I almost would have been if it was just have been a new project. Because, okay, so this story, let's just say, like, it takes place after Dark Victory. So I would have just preferred, like, it's kind of nice coming back to that world, but it didn't have to be titled, like, The Long Halloween. I feel like that's where they're just trying to get the money. I would have loved if it was a whole new Loeb and Sales story.
Yeah.
You know how, like, because if you have Long Halloween and then you read Dark Victory, and then technically you have When in Rome as like this sidequel thing. And then if they would have had like, this is a new story, like going on, like a new volume, like, cause Haunted Nights is kind of like more of a collection.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Long Halloween special, I think it should have been like the next Batman, the next Halloween or something like, because like, people, I posted this and they're like, oh, what is that? Yeah. Is that a new trade? What's different in it? I'm like, no, it's a whole new story. And they're like, oh, what? I'm like, yeah, it's not like they just reprinted the Long Halloween. Like, it's a whole new story by the original team. So at least it's the original team.
Yeah. Yes. And that's where they're really making the most money because let's be honest, a Loeb and Sales collaboration. I mean, we were spoiled. I don't think a lot of like the new comic book people really know how special that team is. Like the minimalism of the art mixed with rich storytelling. It's just something that modern comics could never.
Right. It was refreshing to read this, honestly. And I really enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed it. I wanted more just because like you said, like I love that team.
Well, I mean, just the way they ended and everything. I mean, you could tell they set it up. They can do like sequels and
that was a mandatory, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So even if they don't do it, somebody, which I say nobody can touch their team up. Like you just can't go back to this world without them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like doing the before Watchmen or whatever,
Exactly. I don't want it to end up like that. I don't even want it to end up like, Frank Miller's Dark Knight. Like how many times have we gone back to it and this isn't that case where it got worse when they went back at all.
No.
Diminishing returns.
Exactly.
But I mean, yeah, could they, like Tyler said, have done an original story with these two and, just splashed it all over every ad?
I think this definitely was the idea that he pitched, but they said, hey, baby, branding, the Bat Pat is hot right now. You're just going to have to...
they should.
If you want to follow up some other time with something else, which is probably why they ended the way they did, they can. And this is like his little mini universe bubble now,
They should have just said, from the team that brought you Long Halloween, a brand new story.
You can't do that anymore, though. You definitely need like a name-grabbing brand. And the Long Halloween, for better or for worse, it's a brand now.
So it makes me wonder within the next 5 to 10 years if they'll publish a Long Halloween with this. Like as like
definitely
an epilogue-esque story in it, or it'll be like in a Dark Victory trade or something. Because the whole Robin aspect is the real thing where it tells you, taking place after Dark Victory. But
oh no, is that gonna be our tradition?
I'm just surprised it wasn't a $10 book. Honestly, I would have paid $10 for it. That's what I mean. $8 is so random
in the atmosphere. Is this gonna be our tradition now? Are they gonna put something like this out every Halloween now?
Probably not every Halloween because it does take them so long.
Yeah.
I mean,
but whenever that next Bat movie comes out, I guarantee you there'll be a long Halloween something.
Yeah.
So it takes about 2 years for each Batman movie, give or take. That's pretty much Matt Reeves' schedule. They've already decided that they want a second movie, so I say 2 years. 2024, we'll definitely probably have another long Halloween something.
And you put it in the atmosphere, Lilith Hellfire. We finally got a Calendar Man story.
The long Halloween.
I love Calendar Man.
The longer Halloween. The longest Halloween.
And then, when they're lazy, the short Halloween.
The never-ending.
The shortest Halloween ever.
No, it's going to be the never-ending Halloween.
Oh, there you go. That would be pretty awesome.
God, you shut your filthy mouth, Philip.
Well, that's kind of what it is at this point.
The never-ending Halloween.
Some of my emo people are like, yes, it's what we want. I mean, we're already starting Halloween in June at this point, so.
Oh yeah, people. I mean, hell, I was driving to work on Thursday. Man, the town nearby, they're already putting up Christmas decorations. Speaking of Halloween,
The Super Kids!
She literally asked me, Daddy, is it time to put costumes on yet? I'm like, no, Sayla, we got several hours to go till it's
It's like,
costume.
oh, nuts.
wait, the costume come off in that house? I thought they stayed on constantly.
Oh, I mean, considering that every Halloween-esque event that we've gone to, they've done a different costume just because they have a whole box of costumes upstairs. Even Sayla's school, like, costume party, she did a different one. And then Solomon's school, they wouldn't let, for his grade, they wouldn't let them do costumes.
Oh, geez.
So what did I do? So Solomon's regular costume was Venom. So I bought him the Venom costume t-shirt, and he wore that with black pants. And then for recess, he has a ski cap, that's Venom when you pull down the face. I was like, there you go, buddy. That's called sticking it to the man.
But no. Oh man,
What'd you think of the mystery? The mystery of the story.
was it really a mystery to the story?
Exactly my point.
I mean,
It's okay. Hello. It's Long Halloween. That's like we're on
Yeah.
this long detective journey. I think you missed the plot.
I mean, it was a fine story. Again, yeah, there was no mystery. And I mean, my only big problem was just like Batman. Just he takes it personally. Someone's robbing this jewelry store where 100 years ago his mother got those cheap pearls.
I like the one thing I think maybe was missed on this story is really telling the audience and Batman that Gilda was Holiday.
I mean, and it's I don't know. I mean, it was fine making her a Holiday, but now in this story, it's just like
Because you
she's
go back to the book.
Yeah.
You go back to the original book, and it's very like Gilda maybe killed some people, Alberto maybe killed someone, like Two-Face, but Alberto's taking the fall. It's that they all kind of did it together. But then you look at Dark Victory, there's like that one line in it. So I don't know. I just think like she comes back and it's like,
Shouldn't Batman have been like, okay, I'm going to arrest you now for all those murders you committed?
right. Like it's one
But
of
he
those
lets
things.
Catwoman get away with literal murder. So at this point,
I don't know. Does she actually murder? She steals, but she doesn't murder.
we all know Selena on her bad days murders people. We know this.
Well, just Black Mask.
True.
But I enjoyed the. The part that I actually enjoyed in the story the most is Jim Gordon taking Barbara trick or treating with Robin. Like that was my favorite part. Is when Gordon comes out with Barbara, his niece. Let's clarify, his niece Barbara.
Oh yeah, he clarifies it too. Yeah.
And there's Batman and Robin, and the two of them together. I thought was kind of cool.
Wonder
And
if
I
he
thought
has a niece named James as well. A nephew named James as well.
No, there's James. There's James Jr. slightly dressed as the devil.
Oh, get it?
Get it? Spoilers for some other future story that you can scroll down for, I'm sure.
It's always a bridge, Lilith Hellfire, man. He went evil because he went over that bridge as a baby.
They wanted to show like that Calendar Man could actually be scary and creepy, so they were like, "We'll do this story
As a cult.
Yeah.
Cult of Calendar.
Was the story needed? Not really. Did I enjoy it? Yes.
We need the money. Gimme.
I mean, you know what? At least they showed restraint that they only did one issue. They didn't like try to drag it out. for
Yeah, if
another
this would have
12
been
or
like a
13.
12 issue thing, I would have been pissed. So I'm glad that it is just the one $8 book. I would have paid 10 for it. I'll be real. But I'm glad that they kind of managed their expectations.
Did
and our
everybody?
patience.
Did you guys just get the regular cover or?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the Two-Face cover and I was like, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, well, I was going to say,
My guy was sold out. Otherwise, I would have.
I didn't see there was a lot of covers, but yeah. Wait, so were there only 2 covers?
I think so.
You know, there's probably like 5 secretly.
Probably.
Like a super secret theory.
But I just like the brand, if Two-Face, if they only did 2 covers. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would be.
Oh no, DC!
Interesting.
Now every Two-Face story, they're going to do a cover and one variant for 2 covers.
Of course. For branding. It's like 69. It's a brand.
Well, whose brand would that be?
Did you guys ever read Two-Face Year One?
I don't think I have.
So I recently read that, and what I found interesting about that is the way that it's written. It's written that it could be going alongside of the events of the Long Halloween. So it really is like you could take that story and just lay it into the Long Halloween, as if when Harvey's not on a page on the Long Halloween, he's doing something over in Two-Face Year One. So it's very much a story that can go right alongside of that. And I was thinking it's interesting how much that Long Halloween story has really kind of cemented more for people like that's Harvey's Two-Face origin. Compared to any of the other stories that they try to give us.
Oh, speaking of Two-Face, are you reading Batman 89, the comic book? I think that is fantastic. Yes. Speaking of a good Harvey.
I was reading, so last issue I was reading, and issue 3, and I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Harvey's, what is, and then it was like a dream. I was like, okay. I was like, did I miss something? And the only thing with that book that's kind of thrown me for a curve is the Catwoman stuff.
Oh.
Because, in my mind, I'm going into this like this is a sequel to Batman 89.
Yeah, but I think they're
it's not even a sequel. It's like what should have happened in the movie that got cut out. Things like that.
But but kind of Batman Returns has already happened, yeah.
So this is so now it's kind of like this is like Tim Burton's Batman number 3 more so, you know? Because it's like because there was even an allusion to Max Shrek. So now I'm kind of like, it was like Shrek stores or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, okay. All right. So that did happen because we have the Catwoman out here on the prowl. So I'm like, okay. All right. I see what you're doing, story.
It's a bold choice. They're already giving him like gray hair, aren't they? In that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm digging it. It's nice.
Flashpoint Batman is coming. Don't you worry.
Well, no, because Michael Keaton showed up in that movie. That's why they're doing
exactly. That's what I mean.
I'm digging being back in that world. It's fun, and I can hear Billy D in the back of my head giving the lines and everything. So
we were robbed, and now we kind of actually really do know why we were robbed of Billy D. Williams. So that's unfortunate. Didn't match his aesthetic. Anywho.
I feel like, yeah. But no, I enjoyed this. I mean,
it's a great book.
Didn't give us all.
I don't want to see another one in 2 years, though. Give me at least 10.
Didn't give us all the villains, but we did get that Solomon Grundy appearance.
I think what was interesting was it is a small story that just kind of lurks as like an epilogue chapter or something. Like, did we need this story? Did it add a lot? No.
But they know nostalgia sells, and it was a great walk down memory lane. And it's, if anything, it's giving people the chance to clamor for more Loeb and Sales collaborations, and I think that's another kind of point of it.
I agree, and it was nice because it like bringing back a little bit more of like the Gilda and Harvey, and gave us a good Halloween story. Like, the Long Halloween is great, but it like when we reviewed it before, like it's a book that you can read start in October and read a chapter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every day of the year. So yeah, it's nice. I'll probably read it every year, as a Halloween read. I enjoy the character.
does do great Halloween stories though, period. So this is a good addition.
Yeah. I wish.
I'm kind of sad that we got robbed of the annual horror things that we do, but the one we do, but this is a great exemption from, that whole anthology thing.
Yeah.
I missed that. Like, my thing is I always have that thin line between there's Halloween and then there's horror.
Yep.
And like they sold like one year I bought like supposed to be like the DC Halloween special, but like only one short story was like Halloween. The rest were like real just horror stories. And I was like, nah, like that's not what I wanted. So like having this, it's more about the Halloween holiday at least, or that's going on in the background is nice. And yeah, I like those. I mean, I think I haven't read the Wonder Woman Black and Gold yet, or the Harley Quinn.
You should read Wonder Woman Black and Gold. It is fantastic. I can't vouch for the Harley Quinn stuff, but Wonder Woman Black and Gold is amazing.
And that's what I've heard, and I want to, because I love the Superman Blue and Red stuff. For the most part, I don't think there was ever a book I would say was bad. Like every now and then there was like one of them I was like, that's okay. But I enjoyed that type of short story anthologies. So I wouldn't mind a proper Halloween anthology.
Yeah, Halloween anthology, not a horror anthology.
Just like, they do their Christmas specials or holiday specials every year. And it'd be interesting to see if we get anything this year or what we might get. I don't know.
But yeah, this
definitely must have for the collection, I think. Oh, but shocking, we're on a Batman podcast, so
but
take that with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah, let's see. You can there's part of my Batman collection stuff up top above my doors. Like all my figures and displays are up there.
Crammed between all the Superman stuff. Yeah, this is definitely going on. In the collection, right next to Long Halloween and Dark Victory.
Yep. Now, I do want a box. Dear comic book stores, I do need either a short box or a long box with the cover stretched around this one, just to kind of complete all the DC collections that I have for the short boxes and the long boxes.
Or just do some Tim Sale Batman on a block,
Exactly, something.
Or all the covers.
If we have Starro on a short box,
yeah,
we can at least have it. Forced me to get it. I was like, well, this has
I
I
think...
side.
I'm just that's the simplest and easiest way to just take my money. It's like, it's like, you can't see, I have maybe you can, I don't know. No, you can't really. I have the Superman, Action 1000 short box. And then I have a Batman one over here. And then I have the cover, one of the Joker cover, I think by Jacques, where it's like his face with all the bats flying out on a box I got. So it's like, yeah, there's definitely a market for these covers. Like I almost bought the Kingdom Come one.
I have that one.
I didn't buy it because I didn't like how small Superman was on it. Like, cause he's very and the main characters, I'm like, nah. But cause I was almost there. But yeah, I would love to have a long you have that pumpkin face. The different covers and Batman.
It just sells itself. Get the synergy together, DC. Jeez.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or, it would be definitely would go on the shelf.
But yeah, all good reviews here, so.
I haven't seen a bad review for this book yet, but I'm sure they're out there because, trolls.
But again, this team usually gets good reviews,
there's someone who will always be who will hate something just because they want to, or just because someone else likes it. They're like, people like this, I gotta hate on this. So
exactly. All right, so should we get to the class? Are you going to stick around for the classic reviews? Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear them. I've been looking at them over here, but let's check them out.
Yeah, I read these when these came out. I for some reason I'm like, man, why don't they get more attention?
Phil secretly read Detective when it first came out. Detective 27. Phil's actually over 110 years old. He just doesn't look it. He ages a lot slower than we do.
No, he drinks Lazarus pit water.
Oh yeah.
That's branding. Because I was going to say that's the healing factor, bub.
Hey, wrong universe.
I know.
He keeps it in a gallon in his fridge downstairs in his bed.
Yeah.
He just takes a little shot glass full and dumps it in.
Oh no, Tyler! I don't know if you read Task Force Z, but Jason Todd leading all the zombies. They're animating the zombies with Lazarus resin, and they feed the zombies Lazarus edibles.
I'll be honest with you, I'm really over the zombie craze.
I wasn't sure if I was going to read it too. I picked it up, but you know what? It was good enough. I'm like, I'm
we
going to
do
give
it for
a chance.
Jason. Jason needs good things.
It's like there was a trailer for a movie coming out called Black Friday with Bruce Campbell and Michael Jai White. It looks just great, B horror, but it's zombie attack shoppers on Black Friday. And I was like, I'm just over the zombie.
A little close to home.
Thing. So it's kind of I was curious. Did either of you read the DC versus Vampires?
We did actually.
That one I was like, I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
So
It was fun, and that was the point of it, I guess. But I can't believe that it wasn't just a one-shot, is my point.
Again, it's 12 issues. Yeah, the first one was a lot of setup.
It's like, if it was a one-shot, that would be cute and funny, but 12 issues? I don't know.
That's kind of why when I saw that it was 12 issues, I was like, do I want to, like, go down this rabbit hole? Like,
No.
Oh my God, there's your long Halloween. It's going to go, what, from this year till, like, next October?
yeah. If they can stay on schedule. If not, we'll get it in 2024.
Exactly. Oh, no, I think that team's usually pretty good. Kind of knows how to put stuff out. Wait, isn't he leaving, or did he write them already?
Yeah, he's supposed to be leaving, but it always makes you wonder, like you said, what they've already turned in script-wise, story-wise, have already been done before.
Well, he might already have them done, because I think they said this is what he wanted to do after Joker War, because when they were originally going to do Future State, he didn't want no part of Future State or
Nobody
5G
did,
or whatever.
except for Dan DiDio.
Yeah, he was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then
Take a shot. That can be considered Dan DiDio slander.
Oh
So
my God, that's what we need for Patreon, Lilith, the People's Court. I mean, we put Bendis on trial. We'll put DiDio on trial. Oh yes, that's what we need.
Are you keeping a list of our ideas? Please keep a list of our ideas, Philip.
Yeah, we just need a list of more hours in the day. That's all.
I mean, we could move to another planet. We just gotta hitch a ride with Jeff Bezos, unfortunately. So, if you want to do that whole thing,
Hey,
if they'll let you back in the atmosphere.
hey, that ship looks like a giant.
Tallywhacker.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of that, we were at the Halloween store looking at decorations,
Oh no.
and there was this one that you put in your yard that was looked like a piece of corn with pumpkins. And I saw it from behind, and I was like,
Hey-o.
and I came up to Jania, and I was like, look at that. She's like, I'm like, look at this shape. She's like, oh, dear Lord. I'm like, yep, that's not going in the yard.
Listen, Tyler trying to get the wife in the mood. What's that remind you of, huh?
There is lots of corn around here.
Whoa!
And pumpkins.
It's funny because corn is what we say on TikTok, so we don't get banned when we mean porn.
I'm just now inserting that thought into every cornism around here.
Insert.
Don't corrupt our Superman,
I know.
Philip. We have guests. Act like it.
All right, let's get to this. All right, so first part, Detective Comics 777 from February 2003.
Dead Reckoning.
Part 1.
Ed Brubaker, baby.
Red Brubaker, creator of Winter Soldier. Penciler Tommy Castillo. Inker Wade Von Grob Badger.
That's a made-up name.
I know.
Hashtag fight me.
I know, Lilith Hellfire. Colorist Jason Wright and Wildstorm FX, and letterer Todd Klein. All right, so synopsis: 8 days. Oh my God, it's Gotham. How do you last 8 days? 8 days after parole, petty criminal Leonard Weinstein is found dead in Gotham's East End. His corpse wearing a killer moth costume. Why are you asking for it? Eyewitness.
Exactly.
Eyewitness.
Batgirl did it.
Oh,
If it was Brendan Fraser?
Oh, my God, yeah, that rumor now. Well, no, that was Firefly, not Killer.
Oh, that's true.
It
is
should
Firefly.
be Killer Moth. That was her first.
My bad.
Yeah,
My bad.
it should be though.
As we said in the chat, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. They're like, oh, it's too late. We already announced this Firefly it is.
Exactly.
They're like, Brendan, you have to get in shape now.
Well, CGI.
It's just George of the Jungle. Superimposed.
He already does Robot Man. Yeah, just so you know.
Did either of you watch the newest episode of Doom Patrol?
Yes.
When it's Robot Man talking to Brendan Fraser, and it's just basically a cascade of flavorful uses of one singular word.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, man, if you made a drinking game out of this, you would be dead.
Can I?
Well, unless you're Lilith Hellfire, of course.
I know.
I don't know.
Can I have a beer? Wait, you're a kid, but you're in an adult body. Okay, sure.
That's a parent, man. That's his parenting for you.
Oh, good. More for me. All right. Eyewitness testimony from a man named Charlie Tan confirms the death was murder. While further testimony from Weinstein's girlfriend confirms the motives. Weinstein had meant to take a big league contract with the costume, only to be killed by someone with a grudge against the original Killer Moth. Boy, that narrows it down.
Batgirl, I'm telling you.
I know. However, the case is complicated by its most prominent piece of evidence, a coin found near the scene.
He would never leave his coin. Come on, be serious.
Marred on both sides in an apparent reference to Two-Face. Batman soon deems the coin an imposter's work, because the real Two-Face has been in custody for months, but interrogation of Weinstein's former associates reveals yet another twist. Weinstein's potential contract had been Tan himself. By the time Batman returns to Tan's home, Tan is gone.
It was already too late.
Too late. Batman realizes the name was only a play on
Charlatan, get it? Oh, Ed Brubaker. What are we going to do with you?
He was trying to give...
What in the Riddler was that,
he was trying to take an old name and create a new rogue. While the Penguin and the Riddler raised their own concerns over Weinstein's murder, especially when another double marred coin is delivered to the Iceberg Lounge.
Which they'll never, that'll never pay off.
I mean, I appreciated like the effort, like a murder mystery and stuff. I remember reading the first one. I was like, ooh, okay. Oh, you have my interest. So, Lilith, what you think?
I think the second story was better, but that's just me.
Oh, Spore? You like that?
I do. I don't know. I just call it a quarantine story for quarantine times.
Yeah, the Spore. I mean, it was okay, but it's like, I don't know. The art really didn't do it for me.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, Tyler, if you haven't read that backup story, you might, because someone shows up eventually.
Yeah.
A character you might like.
I'm reading right now.
Okay, yeah. A character you might like.
The Spore Part 2.
Yeah.
Right here.
Eventually, someone shows up in Spore.
I like how there's no dialogue. It's awesome.
He's a super guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very experimental in the early 2000s, and that's the one thing that I can't appreciate about DC.
And again,
Marvel was just kind of cranking out more of the same. Make it more extreme, give them more pouches, bigger guns. It's like, okay.
And like,
who wears this stuff?
And again, like we said before, it's like, detective, this is the place to experiment. If you don't want to, there's stuff you don't want to drop in the regular Batman book, detective's the way to go.
It's so weird that the Batman book is technically the regular Bat book, just all things given.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like how Action Comics is where all the action happens for Superman. Well, it used to be that way anyway.
Exactly. All right, should we get to the next one?
I like the cover for the next one.
Oh, the Two-Face cover, yeah. Yeah, they do a lot. There's a lot of good, Batman's on the first one. There's a bunch of good rogue covers. Like, I like the Catwoman one coming up. But yeah, Part 2, Detective Comics 778, March 2003.
Well, that's a Tim Sale cover, too.
Oh, yeah, they're all, aren't they all? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, theme.
Ha-ha!
Ha-ha, I hear it.
I was just going to say, you were talking about Lilith, you were mentioning, just the one that I feel like with comics, and the big two especially, is it's all a cycle.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like one comic company's doing something great at the moment and you're really digging it, and then next thing you know, the other company's in this kind of weird rut, and then they switch.
Yep.
It's back and forth.
With it being a two-party system, much like a lot of things in our life. Break the system, buy indie comics, or subscribe to a Substack. We have a couple people we could suggest for you.
Kelly Thompson. DG Chichester. All right, so yes, Dead Reckoning Part 2. Talking about things going in cycles. The ex-Commissioner Gordon. Is that
one professor? I would not want a class with Jim Gordon. It's like, hey, didn't you make love to the Batman?
Whoa! It's like a Harley Quinn reference. No, he does not F commissioners. The ex-Commissioner Gordon, now a professor of criminology at Gotham University, is attacked by a gunman claiming affiliation with Two-Face.
Two-Face don't get along with nobody,
Half the time.
Hell.
He don't even get along with himself.
Hey, whoa!
He's at war with himself, yes, sir.
Gordon he beats himself. Gordon fights off the gunman, whom he realizes is a burn victim wearing a latex mask. Moments later, the gunman escapes, leaving behind yet another double-marred coin. After convening with Gordon, Batman travels to Arkham and interrogates Two-Face. Two-Face realizes the significance of the double-marked coins as an old scheme involving many of Gotham's other supervillains.
First of all, they're not supervillains. They couldn't make it anywhere outside of Gotham. Let that be clear. Batman's rogue gallery may be iconic, but none of them could make it anywhere other than Gotham. And when Joker shows up in Metropolis, this is canon, this is facts.
I mean, the rest of the rogues, yeah, but come on, the Joker...
Joker got his butt handed to him when he showed up in Metropolis. Superman's like, take that crap back to Gotham. It only works there. Bruce is in love with you, so I'll just let you slide. Keep it in Gotham.
Joker made his bones at the end of Infinite Crisis. Who takes out Alexander Luthor? The Joker.
That's not hard to do, though, is my point.
Was that your Joker laugh, Phil? That's pretty good. Breaking news: Phil will be playing the Joker in the next Pattinson film. So they've cast Phil as the Joker. Good job, Phil.
You know the Joker's coming.
Unfortunately,
I hope not.
It's going to be Joaquin Phoenix. Mark my words.
I will say this: I will not be surprised if they do it just because of money,
branding.
Because it's a lot easier to just go ahead and throw him in there and make that mold somehow and work.
Give me the money. Gimme.
I met you at the fence when you were a child.
The Flash shows up and goes, oh boy, I really screwed this one up. Gonna go try again.
Timelines.
Only it's freaking Grant and not Ezra. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, please. But yeah.
To pass each other.
But Two-Face refuses to elaborate once his own coin lands marred side up. Only when Batman reveals Gordon's involvement and invokes their mutual friendship with the ex-commissioner does he somewhat relent, advising Batman to interrogate the Penguin. He should have been like, yeah, this could be my next stop anyway.
Exactly. He's like, oh, he didn't give me anything. Thanks, Harv.
However, a visit to the Iceberg Lounge reveals the Penguin has already gone into hiding, intimidated by the coin sender who has marked him as the next target. Despite his and Oracle's best efforts, Batman finds the Penguin too late. The coin sender has struck again, perforating...
They shot up Penguin's getaway car, baby! And it's a noose hanging from it, so, you know.
Yes, hanging its owner from a noose.
Oh, 2003!
I know, it's like, yeah, we're really going to kill the Penguin. Alright, so... Oh, and meanwhile, in Spore Part 3, yeah, Batman becomes a tentacle monster, and then who...
Now you've given the secret of why I like this story. You shut your filthy mouth, Philip.
Yeah, that.
I don't think those are tentacles.
And Superman shows up.
Yes, he does. I just like the covers where it says Batman Detective Comics plus the Spore.
So what did everybody think?
Things are really heating up in both stories.
It's so weird though, because they started Spore like an issue before Dead Reckoning started, so
yeah, it's slightly off, but it's okay.
Guess they're trying to entice people to jump read multiple stories. I guess
this is
it's a good gimmick if you can pull it off.
This is the weirdest backup ever.
It's weird. The tone is very different than the main story.
I think that's what makes backup stories have the potential to be so cool, though.
Yeah.
Because it's a backup story. You don't have to read it.
I mean, I think backup stories are cool, like just having them, but they're very hit and miss.
Oh, yeah. Especially if it's an annual, especially a modern day annual now.
Well, sometimes I wonder,
the ones they've done recently in Superman, like there's been the Midnighter story, and there's been the Jimmy Olsen one or whatever. Honestly, I haven't read them. Like, I started when they first were putting them in there, and they just didn't hook me. And I'm like, eh.
But I'm glad that, at least they didn't forget about Midnighter. He is an interesting character. He comes from one of those other acquired companies and whatever, and it's been really hard to push him into like the mainstream continuity, whatever that means for DC at this point. Yeah. But at least they tried.
I mean, that Jimmy Olsen backup, I mean, you really got to be like...
They robbed of his book, and they didn't make him, a certain someone. So they missed their opportunity with Jimmy at that point.
And maybe it's just...
He should have been Leviathan. I agree with Philip.
Thank you. I mean,
Leviathan should have made sense.
Well, you know who was running that, so it was never going to make sense.
Oh.
There's your Bendis slander! Take a drink!
Bendis.
Let's make him Mark Shaw, who 3 people know who he is. All right.
Remember that guy in that little part in that one panel 7 years ago in this one book that nobody read? There he is.
It's Tony Stark's parents all over again. There, I said it. You're welcome, Charlie.
Remember Manhunter? Yeah, you might have seen him.
Wally's like, I barely remember you.
I know. Remember he showed up for 2 seconds in Invasion? Yeah, that's it. All right. All right, let's get to the next one. Detective 779, April 2003. Same team.
Only though it was only published in February, but we'll just keep that moving.
News of the Penguin's murder and the identity of the supposed murderer disturbs the Riddler, who visits Arkham and demands answers from the Scarecrow. Forget him that. Yeah.
Oh God!
What is
this bird brain?
What is this? What is this? Titans? When the Scarecrow replies with only cryptic smugness, the Riddler leaves in disgust. Should have brought him some pot, man. Meanwhile, after visiting in his Bruce Wayne persona, the recovering Lucius Fox, Batman interrogates the Penguin's chauffeur, who reveals the Penguin had spent much of his flight at a rest home. There, Batman finds the Penguin had been visiting retired spiritualist and superhero Mark Merlin, who explains the Penguin had approached him to negotiate with the ghost.
Which is weird, because they did make that whole Malcolm from Arrow actual... Never mind. This is so long after this, but I just find it, if you actually apply retcon.
Yeah. But yes, he was trying to convene with the spirit of Paul Sloan. A subsequent interview with Sloane's widow, Veronica, reveals the actor was a highly unstable man obsessed with method acting and prone to real-life violence when playing villains or monsters. He had vanished 8 years ago, leaving only talk of a study opportunity as explanation. Following the interview, Batman finds Sloane, now clad in overcoat and bandages. Hush would like to have a word with you, spying on Veronica, and gives chase.
The Invisible Man would like to have a word with him.
Oh, but narrowly fails to catch Sloane. 2 days later, Sloane visits Arkham and offers partnership to a bemused Scarecrow. All right, kids. Paul Sloane. What was he?
Never trust a character named Sloane, though, like in any medium, is the moral of that story.
Well, this was like a new version, because was it the Golden Age or early Silver Age? Like they kind of like cured Harvey Dent, and they like made Paul Sloane the new Two-Face, and then there was like a new...
We don't talk about that, yeah. Philip. We don't talk about
And then there was the quick one and done, like right after Crisis, with Paul Sloane as another Two-Face, but yeah, so Ed Brubaker was taking an old character and trying to make something new out of it.
And you gotta love Eddie Boy for it. You do. He tried to make fetch happen, but it didn't happen.
As he'll tell you, he didn't make too many shekels off that Winter Soldier, so,
That's a shame, but work for hire. That is what it is.
And
that's
again,
the game you got to play.
And again, Charlie always makes the argument. He's like
he didn't actually create the two.
Yeah, characters. He didn't create Bucky, so it's like, yeah, he just kind of added something to Bucky.
But the thing that made Bucky the most popular.
Yeah.
Like, who would Bucky be if he wasn't the Winter Soldier at this point? Nobody would care.
Well, again, besides flashbacks and stuff, it's like
Captain America's dead sidekick.
And again, and two, did they have to bring Bucky back? So that's
and who actually before the MCU actually besides you and like Ray actually cared about Captain America? Nobody.
Oh, the Mark Gruenwald fans. No.
I know. Don't at me, but you know what I mean.
And did they have to bring Bucky back because that was around the same time they brought Jason Todd back?
Because the comic book companies just keep copying each other.
Yes. And again, when at the end of Batman R.I.P. when Bruce Wayne disappears in time, oh hey, look, we're gonna kill off Steve Rogers at the same time, and Bucky's gonna take over as Captain America when Dick Grayson takes over as Batman.
Nightwing is better than Batman and that particular story arc. So.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna throw this out there because you said that.
Diggity dank.
I am very curious what the Court of Owls story would have looked like had we not had the New 52.
I mean, Scott Snyder did some Batman. He wrote Detective right before New 52, so I mean,
and the whole Court of Owls story was a Dick Grayson Batman story.
Yeah, great son, get it?
Because I asked him about it, and it was and then when he got Batman, that was the story, yeah. And then when they decided to do the New 52, he kind of had to split it. and put part of it in the Nightwing book,
Yeah.
and then in now that Bruce is Batman, you know. So I'm just kind of curious, like how that story would have been had we continued with Dick Grayson as Batman.
He's
not
better
Bruce.
than Batman. They literally told us in his book. So
Thank you, Tim Seeley. But yeah, I mean, again, I appreciate Ed Brubaker trying to make something out of, you know.
And that, like I said, that's the beauty of Mr. Eddie Boy. He does try to make something out of nothing. And it was entertaining, but at the same time, it's like Paul Sloan of all people. Come on.
Well, again, they're not going to make you make major changes to like a known rogue. So it's like, hey, let's take this guy who's
Could have been Clayface. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, we've had a couple crises. The guy's a blank slate now. Come on. All right. Should we get to the next one?
Let's do it.
The spore is wonderful. It's amazing. The whole world is encapsulated by this spore. All right, let's go.
Wait, is that meta commentary about Batman?
It is.
I know.
Well, tell him the Mark Wade statistic that he told us.
Oh yes.
That we love sharing.
I love Tone Ray. No. When we talked to Mark Wade, he says the one character in all of human history, the fictional character who's had the most stories written about them, is Batman.
And I was like, that seems impossible, but at the same time, totally freaking tracks.
Again, there's times he's had a book 4 times a month, and now he gets so many miniseries and stuff. I believe it.
And I mean, think of every like animated story, and then if you're just talking about
and since 1939,
kids books, there's kids books written about Batman, and
it's been
the bathroom door just magically opened,
and it's been 80 some years. It would be Spider-Man, but Batman's been around decades longer.
Marvel's trying to catch up for sure.
Give us 20 extra years. We'll do it.
Well, they're doing 3 times a week. I'm surprised they didn't do 4.
Well,
They had to time it out just right, though.
Might be pushing it,
That week that we didn't have a Spider-Man book, I was devastated.
I know.
What I'll say.
Well, I think November is when we're getting that special. So,
But I mean, think about all the Black Label stuff that gets put out now that's Batman related or Bat character related. So yeah, we've just become obsessed with just doing Bat stories.
Dong is a medical term. Fight me, nerds.
Batman, goddamn.
Batman, damned.
Damn.
Hashtag never forgive, never forget.
Oh yeah, Tyler, if you're not reading Catwoman Lonely City, the first issue of that came out. It's one of those oversized ones. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I hate that format. I hate it.
I don't mind it. I thought about that's another one of those like I was like, I don't know if I want to go down this one or not,
It's actually pretty good, but I always try to give it 3 issues because right around that 3rd issue is when you know if you're in for a penny or in for a pound.
Well, those bigger ones, they usually only give them 3 or 4 anyway, so.
I've kind of it's kind of how I feel about the Batman Catwoman book. Like I'm at the point now where I've already bought this much. I'm going to finish it and then I'm going to read it because I stopped like halfway through because
it's and it's only
right
12.
there with you, buddy.
It's only 12, so it's like you're like I've already gone half of them.
It should be a great story with the characters and everything, but it's like it's so drawn out.
It's too much cat and mouse. Hell.
And it jumps around.
Yeah,
I hate how jumps. I hate how they jump it around to like every other page.
And that's why I'm like, it's kind of like Doomsday Clock where they spread it out so much. I'm like, I don't even care anymore. Like, what happened? I'm just like, I want to get to the end. So now, like, I'm just like, I'm buying the book and I'm going to wait till it's over. Then I'm just going to read it straight. So maybe I'll actually understand what's going on completely.
Yeah, it'd probably be a better read, like in the trade, like the trade.
Oh yeah, well, that's all they write for nowadays, unfortunately. So.
Oh, did you see? I guess next week is it next week? I think it's Tom King's Human Target's coming out.
Oh yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for that they're trying to make Human Target a thing again. I don't know why. Is there like they probably trying to do another TV show?
Maybe, or it's easy. It's the guy don't have any powers or anything, so it's easy to write.
Yeah.
All right.
But Tom King, good for him.
Exactly. He found his niche.
He's like the Kelly Thompson of DC at this point.
Found his niche, like these 12-issue series and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
He's like, I did Batman. I need a challenge. Human Target.
Well, I mean, his Mr. Miracle was good. Strange Adventures was pretty good.
He just doesn't want to do the mainstream thing, and I don't blame him at this point. Yeah, he proved that he could do it, so now that's why you get to write on like the big megastar books, and then you can pretty much do what you want because you built your fandom.
That's what Bendis should do.
Who?
Oh, you know who? All right, let's get to Detective 780. This one, I don't know.
I'm just saying, I I prefer him when he's writing with his best friend. I feel like his best friend reins him in.
David F. Walker, yeah, exactly.
They are a great
David
duo.
Walker on the phone.
Just saying, I think that duo is almost as iconic as Logan Sales because they mellow each other in that same way.
He should be on Justice League with Bendis, yeah.
I love what they did with Naomi.
Yeah.
Just saying, and the Wonder Print comics and stuff like that. That's dead, unfortunately. So
again, that's why I said Bendis should, some of the off-brand stuff. Yeah. All right, Detective 780, maybe my favorite cover of this arc.
The Catwoman.
Yes, Dead Reckoning, Part 4.
Me, wow.
Well, just like
we know what a young Philip was up to with this cover.
2003, I wasn't that young. Hey. But no, I just like the Batman in the background, and
you were almost 20 years younger, so I'm just saying.
Oh, please, Lilith Hellfire. Let's compare hard drives, okay? Don't be throwing.
Nobody can outmatch my hard drive. Sorry.
All right, Dead Reckoning Part 4. Oh Lord, this is always going to be weird. The Mad Hatter is slipping poison during Arkham's dinner hour. Is slipped poison during Arkham's dinner hour, sending him into violent, near-fatal convulsions. Inside his meal was another double-marked coin, marking him as Paul Sloane's latest target.
Human target.
Oh, I knew you were going to. I was going to say. Speaking of, from this,
it's all connected, just not super connected.
No, it's DC. From this, From this and the previous attacks, Batman concludes Sloane's learning opportunity had involved Gotham supervillains, who eventually disfigured Sloane facially as well as mentally. With Catwoman's help, Batman tracks down a likely participant who has remained unscathed, the Riddler, who reluctantly confirms his theory. 8 years ago, Sloane had been brought into an elaborate conspiracy to kill Batman. Most of the conspirators...
Idiots!
Most of the conspirators confident his acting talents could substitute for Two-Face, who had rejected their plan after a coin toss. An uneasy Batman convenes with the ex-Commissioner Gordon. What is this, a Marvel book? X? Who assures him that he bears no responsibility for Sloane's decisions and circumstances. At Batman's request, Gordon then invokes an old favor that grants Batman access to Antarctica's Slab Slide Penitentiary. Thank you, Joker. Last laugh.
Yeah.
So Batman may interrogate the conspirator most responsible for recruiting Sloane in the first place. Some guy you never heard of. The Joker.
Not ringing a bell.
No, never heard this guy. It's been a while.
Nope, never heard of him.
All right, so that was a...
You mean that obscure character that Mark Hamill did the voice of for that animated show like 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
Exactly.
In the late 1900s?
Was that any good? Did you guys ever watch it? Was it good?
I've heard some good things. I hear things. And then we got... was that the last part of Spore?
Yep.
Yeah.
Last part of Spore, that is, you think the world getting swallowed is trippy. Yeah, this is some weird
Nano bolt, baby!
Nano bat orang bolt thing. Like, this is some high caliber stuff, storytelling here.
This is just Osmosis Jones, bro.
Yeah.
It is. I love in the main story, like Batman's like, I'm trying to remember which conspiracy they are concocting that could kill me. There's been so many.
Exactly.
8 years ago, that's not ringing a bell.
Screw it. It's always the Joker. Let's go down there.
Seriously, I mean, if the Joker wasn't involved, he knows something, something about it. And again, we'll get to this in the next issue, but I mean, that trip to Antarctica doesn't seem to take that long. I mean, I know he's in his fancy bat plane, but come on.
It goes the speed of light. Well, let's be honest. He called Superman to speed him down there.
I was gonna say we do have Justice
because he was at his fortress. He's like, "Hey, man, you making a trip to your fortress? Can I go?"
What is that in the Arctic? He's going to Antarctica. Or no, wait. There were certain points. I think he was in the Antarctic.
Yeah.
And the Arctic, Antarctic, Bermuda Triangle.
And again, why are we using the plane? We have Justice League teleport tech. Why don't you just teleport?
Boom tubes and mother boxes.
That sounds like a really cool song.
It's a cool band name, actually.
We are Boom Tubes and Mother Boxes. Let's go.
Wait a minute. I'm going to go trademark that. I'll be right back. No, I'm kidding.
With our new album, Father Box is Alive.
Nice.
Lilith, where were you 233 episodes ago? But yeah, of course you knew all roads were going to lead to the Joker. The Joker.
I mean, you were hoping it wasn't, but you're like, okay. They even gave Mad Hatter some screen time, some panel time. All right, time to bring out the big guns.
I was going to say
we can't help ourselves. It's 2003. Yeah. We literally can't help ourselves.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember my numbering. We're right at the cusp, aren't we? Of Hush, like it hasn't come yet. It's about to come, isn't it?
Well, we're in 2003 because isn't Hush happening in 2003 here?
That's what I'm saying. Wasn't it in 2003? Because it was in 7 something, right?
No, wait, no 6. No. Well, let me see. Of course, I just randomly. Of course, I just picked a Hush issue. Of course, it was the one with Nightwing in it.
609.
Well, I typed in 615. That was the Nightwing issue. It's like kind of in the middle of Hush. That was July 2003. So yeah, we're in Hush right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time.
It started in 609, so ends in 619. So.
Lil's favorite story.
So close.
Yeah.
Just take the one out. So close.
0919. Yeah. So yeah, Hush is happening at the same time as this. That's probably why this didn't get as much attention as it should. You know, people are like, I've never heard of that story.
Well, also, Two-Face for me is like, you know, one of the big 3 pillars of the Rogues gallery, but I don't think a lot of people feel that way anymore.
I mean, well, and then he was making sporadic appearances in Hush too, so it's like Joker, Two-Face, they made appearances in Hush, and it's like, okay.
You stole my... Ed Brubaker's like, they stole my thunder!
So what are you saying, Lilith? You think Two-Face is sometimes too much?
And then simultaneously not enough. No wonder he has a complex.
Hey-o.
I got Phil doing that in real life to his random workmates.
Oh,
I love it. I love that for us, Philip.
I could be sitting in a room and like, no, I'm by myself, and if I'm listening to something on a podcast or there's something on TV, I'm just all of a sudden just like, hey, or if I even think of something to myself, I can just go, hey, damn her. All right, let's get to this Joker conversation.
That's funny.
Where the Joker conversation goes as all conversations go. They talk while Batman's beating on him.
It's their kink, and don't shame them for it, okay?
I know. So, Dead Reckoning Part 5, Detective 781. Here's where we get the info dump. Though
yeah. So upset.
Though Batman, as usual, utterly fails to intimidate him, the Joker agrees to share his own knowledge of Paul Sloan. Sloan, he explains, had taken the role of an ersatz Two-Face much more seriously than needed. Though the other conspirators had only meant him to be bait for Batman, Sloan had insisted on performing an actual robbery as Two-Face.
Talk about getting into character.
On a whim, the Joker had indulged Sloan, then leaked all his plans to Batman, causing the robbery to be publicly foiled and revealing Sloan's existence to the real Two-Face. Enraged by his replacement, Two-Face had kidnapped and brutally tortured Sloan, leaving the remains for Sloan's mentors to find. The plan scuttled, Joker and his co-conspirators disbanded, with the Scarecrow volunteering to dispose of the supposedly dead Sloan.
You can't trust that damn bird brain.
Oh yeah, no, don't trust the Scarecrow. As a newly disgusted Batman prepares to leave, the Joker reveals one last secret. He is still conspiring with Sloan and had only volunteered so much information to keep the Dark Knight occupied. Batman immediately rushes back to Gotham, but too late. Sloan had already infiltrated Arkham and abducted his next target, Two-Face. And again, that trip from Antarctica to Gotham seemed to be really fast. You know, him and
that bat plane can do anything. Okay.
Yeah, in the time him and Orca.
He goes into space with the Justice League with that damn thing, doesn't he? Just saying. Supersonic speeds, baby.
At least on the animated series.
It's called the Mary Sue Batplane.
Exactly. Oh. Well, Gary Stu is the name of the Batplane. Yeah.
Shattering windows all the way from there. Antarctica to Gotham.
He took the isolated path.
The path of least resistance. But yeah, I mean, you should have seen it coming as Joker's trying to beat him over. Was the Joker really that cooperative?
He's like, now that I've gotten my kink out of the way, I'll tell you what you need to know.
Was Joker really that cooperative? He was trying to beat him over the head with like dumbbells and stuff. And
he likes it. It's his thing.
And again,
he loves to drive Batman crazy to violence. He does. That's his thing.
And again, why are we leaving like exercise equipment out in the yard in the middle of Antarctica? Wouldn't people like freeze to it? Wouldn't their skin stick to it?
They
don't care about the Joker. They don't.
I know. So Two-Face not happy.
I just like the quote for 782, which is, and it's so true. It's what we say all the time. Sometimes it seems as if this city does nothing but breed monsters. Yep. That's the point, I thought.
Duh.
It makes me wonder why people still live there who are
cheap,
regular people.
Nowhere else to go. Can't afford Metropolis, that's for damn sure. Or Star
Live in
City.
the suburbs. Go live in the suburbs.
There are no suburbs. That's the plot case. They're literally on an island with one bridge in and one bridge, and one bridge only. So.
All right. So let's get to the last part. Like, this is where stuff starts heating up.
You would hope.
Literally heats up. All right. Detective 782, July 2003.
Dead Reckoning conclusion. Like, I feel like we need that Justice League voiceover. Animated show.
Oh, yeah. To complete his knowledge of Sloane, Batman returns to Arkham and interrogates the man most responsible for Sloane's 8-year disappearance, the Scarecrow. With neither the means nor the motivation to resist, the Scarecrow freely admits he had misreported Sloane's death, then imprisoned the barely alive Sloane in his hideout as a test subject. Months of Scarecrow's brutal experiments eventually left Sloane psychologically incapable of fear, whereupon he escaped, leaving a note promising events would come full circle.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
And that house on the cliff, wasn't that his hideout from like that Doug Mensch story?
It was.
Like, the one he killed Hugo Strange for.
Poor Hugo Strange. He gets no respect.
He's in Harley Quinn right now.
Getting no respect.
I know.
But Harley Quinn, the animated show, gives no one respect. So.
Well, in the comic, but...
Oh.
Yeah.
That terrible thing. Never mind.
Where Hugo Strange is like built like the Hulk for some reason. After leaving Arkham and re-securing Penguin, whom he had managed to resuscitate from Sloane's attack in a preset safe house, Batman convenes with Oracle. Using Scarecrow's recollections, the pair trace Sloane and Two-Face to an abandoned aircraft plant, the site where Two-Face had originally tortured his would-be replacement. There, Batman finds Sloane locked in a standoff with Two-Face, each ready to shoot the other. And you're like, why is this a Two-Face hideout? Because they were developing twin-engine planes. Batman disarms...
See yourself out. It's fine.
No, it was in the story!
No, I know. Ed Brubaker, he can see himself out.
Batman disarms both men without hesitation before pleading with Sloane to surrender peacefully. Sloane greets these pleas with nothing but contempt, claiming he has long surrendered himself to life as another of Gotham's freaks. A moment later, he attacks Batman with high explosives and automatic weapons, attaboy, all the while explaining the earlier attacks had never been for revenge. Their only goal had been to draw out and kill Batman. Oh, another stalker. So Sloane could at least prove himself a worthy successor of Two-Face.
Joker's laughing all the way to the bank going, none of you suckers are going to kill the Batman. If anybody's going to kill the Batman, it's going to be me.
Yes.
I gotta go.
Okay.
The kids are into something.
All
so
right. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you're welcome.
Hey,
good times. Good seeing.
Krypton Report. You want to do a quick plug?
Yeah, just check me out. We talk about all things Superman, anything related to Krypton, and that whole aspect of the DC where this is Batman, we are with Superman. Just check us out anywhere podcasts are, and on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search for Krypton Report Pod.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's tie this up. After a long, fiery battle...
Hey-o!
After Two-Face retreats after a clean toss, Batman manages to capture a badly wounded Sloane who mocks his sentimentality before passing out. In following days, both men slowly recover from their wounds, Batman ruminating over Gotham's corrupting nature while the incarcerated Sloane descends ever deeper into his new freak identity, the charlatan. Don't squeeze the charlatan. All right, and the whole thing of this thing, I guess, is the whole plot.
Charlatan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and the whole plot with the rogues, like they're like, oh, it has to be built around Two-Face because they're like, oh yeah, Batman seems extra motivated when it's like, Harvey Dent.
I wonder why. Like I said, everybody knows Bruce is Batman. Batman is Bruce. Everybody knows. It's an open secret.
Yeah. Him. Oh my God, that was the throuple back in the day. Batman, Gordon, and Harvey Dent.
Yep.
You know.
I think it was a fun story, though. I like a good Two-Face story. Like I said, I really feel like this story got its thunder stolen. It's like, it's Ed Brubaker. Why would you ever steal Ed Brubaker's thunder? I don't know.
Well, again, Hush was happening at the exact same time.
That's what I'm saying. Like honestly, Hush hasn't held up. It was fun when it was happening, but when I have to reread it, I'm always just like, the ending really sours it for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great story until you get to the end.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they should have saved this story for when there was a slow month in Batman or something.
Yeah.
Again,
I think it is overlooked and neglected, and I'm glad that you chose to talk about it. I think it was a great choice.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's picked up this charlatan character.
Come on, his name is Charlatan. That's like, turn of the century. This is DC's turn of the century, basically. Just get that boy a mannequin. Come on, Charlatan, that's such a hipster name. It's gonna, when he does come back, he's gonna have a little mustache.
Okay, breaking news. I just seen a headline. Because back to the beginning of the episode, Batman: The Long Halloween returns this year, and Loeb and Sale wanted to keep going because we need the money.
Didn't I just tell you, die being a hero, don't live long enough to see yourself become the villain? We need the money, gimme. He doesn't, though. That's the thing.
He must like it.
Loeb might need it, but Tim don't.
Yeah, but it's like, if those two want to continue on, fine, but you could do something other than Long Halloween.
I mean, like I said, literally, mark my words, it's going to become their little universe bubble. And, well, that's what they're doing. So, they're just going to tell stories set in this Elseworld world, I guess. As a possible future. And that's fine. But, it's the Long Halloween universe. So you need to be well read in it to understand the complexities. They're just trying to push sales on that old stuff. That's all.
I guess, but it's like,
it's a careful line he has to, tread.
So it was like, is Harvey Dent going to show up in every single one then? Because, I mean, there's just certain themes in all the Long Halloween stuff that's,
We'll see. Fingers crossed. I mean, I trust him as far as I can throw him, which is kind of far.
I mean, maybe, again, sparingly, maybe if we did this once a year or something, but don't be doing
not do it. Yeah, you can't do it even quarterly. Like, it has to be special.
Yeah, no.
You have to be able to take your time so there's not, like, a lot of pressure just to crank stuff out for the sake of cranking it out. Hell.
Again, yes. Yeah, no monthly, no quarterly. Yeah, maybe yearly.
When the mood strikes you, write it. I feel like being in this universe, it has to have time to percolate and you really think about it and say, is it really worth doing this story?
Exactly.
Not just for their cash grab. So
yeah, let's not milk it to death. Like
let's not be Frank Miller. Like I said, so don't be a Frank Miller.
The Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Well, Batman sells in anything that's popular. I guess they're like, oh man, let's do more.
And then they ruin it, and then they have to take a 20-year break. You think they would learn this? Like, God, nobody learns their lesson. Those who fail history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, but they just start seeing all those dollar signs,
and that's why they don't have strong leadership. Anyway.
Well, exactly. All right.
Dear Disney, I dressed up as Minnie Mouse. I'm trying to bury the hatchet. Please buy DC. I don't care at this point. Jeff Bezos said he's not interested. So now it's up to you, Disney. You are our only hope, Disney.
Exactly. All right. So anything else?
Nope. Although Sony, it's possible. They really don't got the money like that, but it's possible.
Hey, if Disney buys Spider-Man off them, they don't have money for Batman. Do a swap.
Heyo. Okay, on that note.
All right, kids. So, yes, send us your thoughts on the Long Halloween special, this Dead Reckoning story. And
Armageddon still marches on in episode 52.
That's right. Next week, yes, the next part of Armageddon. It'll be part 5 overall. But, we'll be covering Detective Comics Annual number 4. And I have a feeling there probably will be new Bat books to cover, so...
You don't say. Get out of town. Shut the front door.
I haven't even looked yet, but I just have this sneaking suspicion there will be new Bat books. So,
if there's a weekend, when's the last time we had a week in comics without a single Bat book? I don't remember a time.
1975? I don't know.
Ooh, exactly. I don't remember a time when I was alive. So,
I mean, maybe in the 80s or 90s, when Batman only had like 3 monthly books or something, maybe then, we might have gotten a week without a Batman book, but.
That's your homework, kids. If you know the answer, you might get a Funko Pop. Who knows? Mama needs to get some more space for better Funko Pops.
Oh my. All right, kids. The challenges, the gauntlet has been thrown. So yes, next week, Detective Annual 4 and whatever Bat books. All right, and then that only leaves 4 more episodes for the year, which is going to just be a random grab bag. Because in 2 weeks, we're covering the Destroyer story from, the early 90s, Batman 474, Legends of the Dark Knight 27, and Detective Comics 641. And then Batman 536 through 538. The week after that, Batman 458 through 459. And we round out the year with Detective Comics 626. The Electrocutioner.
Yikes.
And Jim Gordon will teach you kids a lesson in a PSA type story. All right, kids. So, yes, send your thoughts. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow We Are the Night, the Batman Podcast, on Facebook, Twitter. Join our Agents of the Bat Facebook fan group. Let's catch up to Spider-Man. Come on. I know. So find links to all the social medias and all the Facebook groups and everything for all of our shows. Links to this YouTube channel. Links to the Patreon. Most importantly, again, we're not billionaires. We're paying for this ourselves now. So yes, if you can subscribe to the Patreon, please do. Or go pick up some fancy merch at the new merch store. T-shirts, cups, phone cases.
I heard the cups were bigger. I'm going to have to definitely check it out.
Yes, Lilith demanded they be bigger. So find links to all of it, all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capes and lunatics. All right, Lilith Hellfire, where can people find you?
If you nerds actually want to hang out with me on the interwebs, by now you should, that you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course over on TikTok ranting about Star Trek, but mostly Stargate at this point, at Lilith Hellfire69. Bigger is better.
All right, kids, that's it for this week.
The big finish.
That's right.
Jazz hands.
Oh,
told you it's a thing. So
I know. Thank you for joining us again next week. Most excited. We're Armageddon 2001 from Detective Comics Annual number 4. Come on, I think
it's not that bad.
It's one of the better ones, yeah. And is that the one? I think we get is that Louise Simonson or Simonson writing that one? I think there was one that she wrote. I think that might be it. I mean, spoilers, but I like the detective one better than the Batman one. So.
Well, yeah, it's usually how it goes.
Yeah, but with Armageddon, you never know. They're all over the place. All right, kids. Remember, come back next time. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.
We are the
night. The Batman Podcast. Don't forget to tell Ray that he loves Batman.
And we are vengeance, but it wouldn't fit in our trick-or-treat bag. Good night.